force it. And that was the thing I was kind of looking for at the beginning of the game for Jimmy, is how aggressive will he be? Will he go out there and try to land a haymaker in the first 5 minutes from him alone, just getting in the paint, just being aggressive, getting up shots? No, he was being aggressive, finding guys, because he understands at the same time, because Jimmy has been this all season. If I get these guys involved early, I can eat these dudes up later on my own. Well, come to find out, he gets these guys going early and they keep cooking. I mean, they got in the paint at will whenever they wanted to. Yes, we expect Jimmy Butler, Gabe Vincent at times, Kyle Lowry at times, Caleb Martin at times, but Duncan Robinson at will, either hitting layups or throwing lobs, like it just, they took the fight away from the Boston Celtics midway of the first quarter. So left.
Oh, I'm sorry, VC.
Jay Willimax, ESPN Radio. We're presented by Progressive Insurance, and join now. I mean, how many? Like LeBron's in season 20. How many players in the history of the NBA could relate to that? Vince Carter, ladies and gentlemen. 20 years in the NBA, was still getting buckets, shooting from the outside in season 20. 8-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, 2000 dunk contest champ. What's going on, VC?
Well, that's not the question.
Nothing much, but I tell you what, that instrumental right there might be my all-time favorite.
But that's not the question. The question is, would you rather have Vince Carter now, or would you rather have D'Angelo? Who would you rather
I think
have?
Lakers fans get VC in there to take it.
D'Angelo Russell, man. Leave D-Lo alone,
They
kid.
still work, man.
Yeah, I'd rather take BC. That's what I'm saying.
Not scared to shoot it in the playoffs either. So let's stay in the East, though. Vince, this dude Jimmy Butler, and I know he didn't go off last night, but what can you say? They're up 3-0. He didn't have to. Gabe Vincent gave him almost 30. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the Heat right now?
They have taken the I'm gonna punk you route. And none of y'all believe in us. That's cool. That gives us more of an advantage to go out there and do what we do, because we have nothing to lose in our eyes, if you would. And they follow not only, obviously, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, Jimmy Butler, but everybody has bought into that. And does that mean you can't make a lot of money in this league? Does that mean you can't have a long career? Does that mean you can't be a superstar eventually? It's in here, and it's in here. And all of those guys have talent that was brought out and heart. And Jimmy Butler is like, he's the spokesperson for that.
It's
like,
what Tom Brady told Bryce Young recently. Right, Vince, like what Tom Brady told Bryce Young, he was like, yeah, it matters now. You get a few extra bucks now as the number one pick, but in the long run, it doesn't matter where you're drafted. It matters what you do.
Yeah. Can you, like, it's hard to get in. It's harder to stay in, you know? And it's just like, what you made of? What are you made of, you know?
Vince, how about this one? Let's say it looks the team's up 3-0. Continue the streak of every team ever up 3-0 advancing, okay?
Okay.
The Nuggets will be favored. The Nuggets have a better team on paper, right? If Jimmy Butler beats that team, and we say, hey, every playoffs he's a top 5 player, but there is no real best player in the world right now, right? It's kind of up for grabs. Is it the Joker? Is it KD when he's healthy? Is it Giannis? Is it still LeBron? Who is it? If Jimmy Butler gets it done, forget about his legacy. Is he the best player in basketball?
Yeah. I think the Joker
Points on 62% shooting from the field and 55% shooting from the three-point line. Like, what does that say about? I mean, Grant, I know what that says about how good the
player
Heat are.
development.
Yes. Okay. Exactly. Did Miami Heat have
Period.
the best in NBA?
Yeah, and you know who else? At one point, the San Antonio Spurs were like that. It was like, who is this guy? And why can't I guard him? It's just the way they player develop and empower guys to go out there. I mean, yes, you have a system, and you train guys to be good in that system. You know, there's a lot of guys, you can go anywhere to get training, and sometimes the training is great for you individually. But the training that these guys are getting to develop is good for the system and the culture of Miami, is why they're so successful. Same thing for San Antonio. They were working these guys to be great in their system. And that's what the Miami Heat has done. They go find guys like, I like his approach, his mentality. Oh, he can shoot. We can develop everything else. Will he buy into this culture and accept his role? Okay, cool. Well, guess what? If you could do that, son, you're gonna be successful here, and that's what it is, and that's what's happening.
Hey, VC, if Jimmy Butler was to win a championship, what does that do for his, I don't know, I don't want to say legacy, career? Like, what does it do? Like, where would it put him at?
It's going to do a lot for his legacy, but it's going to do a lot for guys that weren't highly touted, weren't really thought about, who developed himself. Jimmy Butler made himself into this superstar as well. Like, willingness to win. And Jimmy Butler and obviously that dude in Phoenix were playing some of the best basketball in the playoffs, Devin Booker. And I think Jimmy was still, 1-2. If he wins it, yes, you have to give Jimmy Butler the nod as being the best player in basketball. And it's crazy to think Jimmy, I don't want to use the word coast through the regular season, but he strategically takes his time to rev up to this. Mm-hmm. And while doing, still has great games, but while doing that, it is empowered and giving those guys like a Gabe Vincent and those other guys confidence and freedom to still play. And they still understand, yeah, when this dude, Jimmy Butler's rolling, we give him the rock. But they still, and he knows that those guys are capable as well. And, man, it's nothing like a confident player knowing that your star player is going to give you the ball.
Carter, ladies and gentlemen, you can see him across ESPN platforms on such hit shows as This Just In, 2 p.m. Eastern. ESPN. Thank you, VC, as always. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio.
Gabe Vincent said yesterday is that your star player gives the other guys, the role players,